Hi, welcome to TWC Soundbites. I'm delighted that today I've been joined by Clare Bocking, who is Chief Commercial Officer at DCS Group. Clare, hi.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for doing this. So, for the people who are not as familiar with DCS as perhaps I am, could you give us a little bit of a background on who DCS is and what it does?
Yes, certainly. So DCS is a family-owned business that consists of three different divisions. We have a personal care factory in Stratford where we produce health and beauty products. That is almost exclusively now hand sanitizer. We have a repack production facility in Banbury in a warehouse, plus the core of our business, which is a sales, marketing, logistics service that consolidates supplies into the more complex and specialist routes to market. So we represent companies including Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Johnson & Johnson, PZ Cussons, and are category experts in household and personal care categories where we deliver growth in wholesale, convenience, the discounters, online, as well as new white space opportunities for brands in general. So this means we have been the de facto supplier into the largest parts of wholesale and convenience for some of the most in-demand consumer brands like Dettol, Calpol, Carex hand wash, amongst others, over the last few weeks.
So I think the whole industry is totally aware of the fact that household and personal care are two of the categories most impacted by the current crisis. But how has DCS coped with this, and what have been the biggest challenges that you've faced as an organisation?
I'll look at internal and then external. So internally, the biggest challenges has been, well, probably twofold. First, establishing effective home office working solutions for all our office staff. So customer services, for example, we had to make sure they could continue to use their telephones at home. And I guess then from a warehouse perspective, keeping our manufacturing and warehouse colleagues safe while they did their core roles. So we actually started our COVID-19 planning in February, so had some contingency plans quite early on, which did mean we could secure additional laptops. We increased our cleaning regime. We established some safe social distancing practices very early on. So it's a real credit to our frontline managers and shift leaders that we've managed to have really low single-digit absenteeism rates across the warehouse and manufacturing. And our productivity across both sites hasn't been impacted at all over the last few weeks. In fact, both the factory and the warehouse have had record productivity and output, which is just unbelievable. Externally, probably our biggest challenge, as you mentioned, is just the unprecedented demand that we've had over the last 6 weeks. So we're in daily contact with our suppliers. For several weeks, we've had over 500 lines on allocation, some of them not available, but all of them on real strict allocations. So helping our suppliers understand the volume of demand we're experiencing and getting the right stock out to all of our customers has been a huge challenge. Even though we're making progress, it's still a challenge now. Just as an example on some of the volumes, we sold in the first week of lockdown over 2.5 months of Calpol in the week. So that just shows on that product in particular what the demand was. And we've had record days in the warehouse for pallets shipped and loads handled, even though the majority of all our high street and discount customers are closed. So that shows the scale, I guess, of the challenges we've been working through.
And if you had your time over again, is there anything that you would have done differently in the way that you've approached this?
Oh, that's a big question. So I guess with a crystal ball, we could have built even more significant stocks of the fastest selling brands. So brands like Calpol, Domestos, Dettol, Cif. So yeah, getting even higher stocks of those in the warehouse could have been helpful. Plus, we could have pre-ordered container loads of hand sanitizer component parts for our manufacturing plant. Having said that, 2 weeks ago, we did invest in an on-site tanker at the factory for ethanol. so we can further improve our production capabilities there. And we have learned an amazing amount over the last 6 weeks. And I think what for me has been outstanding is how agile we have managed to be as a company in adapting on a daily basis to new challenges and opportunities. And I think one thing that's helped us is we have a leadership team, Microsoft Teams meeting every morning, and make decisions that need to be made really quickly. And we try also to communicate and engage, not just obviously with our customers and suppliers, but also down our business as much as possible. So we do a full company debrief once a week on what we're doing, why we're doing it, who we're connecting with. And I guess we're still learning, Tanya, as we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen on social media that DCS has got involved with supporting the NHS with supply of product. How did that come about?
So I think the initial contact came into our manufacturing site. So historically that's been more personal care, but we now are almost exclusively, as I said, producing hand sanitizer and hand wash. So the initial query came in there. But we are now supplying the UK Police, London Fire Brigade, NHS directly, and the factory is producing 24/7. So the shift pattern has completely, totally changed to how it was producing 8 weeks ago. We've also collaborated on a significant number of care packages for key workers. We're supporting local food banks. We've been supporting Birmingham hospitals with personal care products, working with John Kinney from Unitas. And generally, we invested in our factory and are producing, as I say, 3 times the volume we did last March. So prioritising maintaining our supply into our current customers is clearly critical, as well as getting all the volume we can into the new frontline emergency services that we've been asked to help.
It's phenomenal. Not only have you had to scale up your existing business, but you've supplied new markets as well. It really is an achievement.
Yeah, the guys have done an amazing job. They really have.
I'm aware that you're an active participant on the FWD Supplier Council. So I understand that you've been involved in industry discussion through this process. How do you feel the industry as a whole, the wholesale sector, has responded to this crisis?
Yeah, as you say, I represented the industry on the 2 DEFRA small retailer resilience calls that have been held over the last couple of weeks. I think, as always, actually, the FWD and the ACS have worked really well together to help get all parts of our industry collaborating. So events have been, for us, so fast moving that communicating, sharing issues, challenges, solutions daily has and still is essential. And one of the recent examples, Tanya, is where our volumes that continue to remain really high and getting off allocation is a challenge. We have been working with all of our suppliers on substitute products. So the objective for us that is all customer orders should be honoured, and we should be able to get a suitable product dispatched, even if it's not exactly what the customer originally ordered. So this has been a huge admin challenge, not just for me and my team, but also for our customers. But what it's meant is we've been getting essential products out to neighbourhood stores through the supply chain. So they may not be price marked, they might not be in the same case size or product size as originally listed, but the product is getting out there. And equally, we're working with some of our food service customers to get new ranges of personal care products into distribution so they can support their new click and collect services that they're offering.
So, I mean, clearly the industry is still kind of feeling its way through this crisis at the moment. I mean, I think we're very much still in the middle of it. But do you think this is going to shape thinking for the future? And that potentially, do you think there's things the industry will need to look at doing differently in the future?
I think 2 areas that I would say do need to be done differently and I think will be invested differently are data and digital. So for me, the role of the convenience store will have changed permanently moving forward. Plus the categories that we are most expert in, household, health, beauty, they, I think, will remain higher engagement categories than they were before the crisis. So we are working now on how we support the industry with best possible category insight and advice in order to make sure the sector continues to benefit from the current increases in footfall and basket spend that we're seeing. We've just recruited a new digital marketing specialist to help our customers benefit from the increase in online demand. And as experts in wholesale and convenience, we are responsible for helping our suppliers understand the important role that the sector has played and will continue to play in directly supporting communities over the next few weeks. So how we use data and how we use digital as an industry moving forward, I think should be a real game changer. I know that the independent convenience stores collectively together across the country offer more home delivery slots than the major grocers do currently. So I think we all have a part to play in maintaining this new normal for the part of the industry we're passionate about. And as lockdown lifts, how data and digital is used to underpin this next phase of our sector's evolution, I think will be fascinating.
Absolutely. And I guess that leads from data and digital to tech. And I'm mindful that your founder, Dennis Shaw, also invests in a tech business. So I'm guessing that tech has played a role in how you've met customer demand, supported staff, that kind of thing. Would I be right?
Yeah, so data and technology have been essential for us. Specifically, I briefly mentioned earlier on technology. Calls coming into our Banbury office are now routed to home phones, so all customer services can take all the calls and continue as normal at home. And I'm not technical, but we have our IT guys have made from scratch a new module that interfaces with our X3 system, which is where we place all our orders. To analyse orders before they're entered and help us manage the current shortages and allocations. So that's reduced the amount of keying time otherwise that customer services would have to do by hours. And on data, Unitas sales out data in particular has been really vital in helping us communicate the true demand that the sector is experiencing back to our suppliers. So having real evidence-based conversations has enabled us to secure significant volumes of products on allocation. Even if we can't get everything we would want, we've had a greater share of what's available. And as a specific example, we got a yes to some additional stock on the Thursday before Easter and managed to that same day to fully crew the warehouse over the bank holiday to receive nearly 40 additional lorries from one supplier who was responding to our ask for help based on the sharing and talking through of category data. So yes, I think data and technology have really helped underpin how we've managed to perform and deliver over the last 6 weeks.
It's amazing, 40 lorries, goodness. So, this sounds like a sign-off cliche, but I think in this instance I can truly say it. Clare Bocking, you're clearly a very busy lady at the moment. So thank you so much for giving up a few minutes just to share what's been going on at DCS. I really do appreciate it. And thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure. Thanks, Tanya.